Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the 1965 Mustang The Rustang Fastback that we've been working on. This is the engine that came out of the Rustang Mustang. It did run, but it always seemed to foul out the spark plugs after it sat, where my other 302 that I have in my other Mustang, you pour gas down the carburetor, it fires up and never fouled out any of the spark plugs. So it probably has carburation problems. But since we have the motor out, I wanted to go ahead and pull at least the cylinder heads off and the oil pan off to check some stuff. The heads are going to go out to the machine shop and be rebuilt, and we'll go from there. Maybe we'll put a set of rings and bearings in it. We'll see what happens. This is a C5AE-6015E block. So this is the correct block for this 65 Mustang. It also has a C50E 9425-A cast iron 4-barrel manifold, okay, which came on, all Mustangs that had a 4-barrel and on the hypos. This is definitely, and this block could be a hypo block, but it is not. You can see that because the balancer is the regular balancer. So I know that's not a hypo block. So this motor has been gone through one time before, or maybe twice, who knows. If you come to this end of the engine, you can see that the oil galley plugs have got white stuff all on them. And it looks like they maybe broke the block here trying to get the cam plug out. And that cam plug is actually leaking, making it look like the rear main is leaking. You can also see the red silicone on the bolt there and the red silicone bolt on the manifold, where this manifold and the oil pan was off probably at the same time. What else do I want to tell you about? Whoever put the distributor in did the distributor right, because the firing order on these, as you see right there, is number 1. This is actually going to number 1. So it goes counterclockwise. It's 1, 5, 4, 2, 6, 3, 7, 8. And that is the firing order. And the vacuum advance is pointing straight ahead like it's supposed to. It's not off cocked to the side. So whoever did rebuild the engine looks like they did a pretty good job. So we're going to start tearing this thing down. We got to get the heads off, the intake manifold off, the heads off. G Junior is here. Say hi, G Junior.
How's it going?
So he is going to be here, and I don't think. Oh, pull the dipstick out. Did we even change the oil or dump the oil? Nope. Still got oil in it. It is nasty. So first thing we're going to do is he's going to get down here with the oil drain pan and get the plug out. Okay, it is, I do believe it's 7/8. It's right on the bottom, it's 7/8. So while he's getting the oil out, we'll go ahead and pull the distributor cap and rotor off of this. Because we want to keep this stuff. Go ahead, just slide in. The cap is just held on by these clips. Whoops, get you in frame. There and there. I do believe this still has, yes it does. It still has points. Set that over there. I'll have to get some boxes. It's full of oil, right? Full of nasty oil? Yeah, full of nasty oil.
Looks like diesel.
I've owned this car for over 20 years, and it's never been on the road because it's been a Rustang. What else can I say? Hey, look at this. Here's something you don't see very often. It says made in the USA. This is probably a, who made the blue parts back in the day? I can't think. But you can see the car does have points. The distributor has some play in it, but they were working. Boy, that condenser looks like it's gotten hot, but who knows? Okay, so all right, so we're going to start tearing it apart. He's getting the oil out of it. first thing we're going to do is get the valve covers off. Well, I got the camera rolling. We'll just keep going. Yep, they are 7/16 or 11. Let's just get the stand over here and we'll pull the valve cover off.
I got my little impact sitting up on the table.
Yeah, I got the 3/8 Milwaukee here I'll use. So this motor is supposed to be black with gold valve covers, but yet this car was, you know, now I can't remember. I was saying, I went back to some of the old videos, and in some of the old videos, I said that this guy lived in Chicago. And then in the later ones, I said that he lived in Detroit. Well, anyway, he lived up near the Great Lakes. And you can see just how salt blasted this motor is. And this is just the way the motor looked too. It's like it's never had any oil leaks. I don't know how long ago this motor's been rebuilt. I have absolutely no clue. So there's 6 bolts that hold the valve covers on. These valve covers are going to be going over to my brother's house where he will sandblast them. And he says he's going to get some powder coat gold for me. I don't care if it's the right color gold, but I would like it to be gold.
That oil did not look too good.
Nah, the oil doesn't look good.
I feel like it had some shavings in it.
Well, who knows? Do we have bags? We need some sandwich bags. There's all the valve cover bolts. So we need some sandwich bags, please. All right, I don't know the last time this motor was apart, but here we go. Did you mark those valve cover bolts good? Oh, and I know I have a short about some roller rockers. Let me get one of these roller rockers. So I did some horse trading like 15 years ago for some roller rockers, and the G Junior's been cleaning them up. Well, if you look right here, you can see that they were hitting the top of the valve retainer. And now this one, the wheel is still moving, but there's some that are just so crushed, they're basically junk. And then I don't even know if I can run roller rockers in this motor because I want to run stock valve covers. So we might just be running the regular valve train. We're going to try to keep this as cheap as possible. So don't think we're going to be using the roller rockers, maybe at another time. All right, so let's get this valve cover up off of here and let's see what it looks like. Why don't you go ahead, let me grab the camera. All right, go ahead and get that valve cover off.
Let's see how bad it is.
It's not bad, see?
Oh, wow.
It is not bad at all. You know, it's got its standard rocker arms on it. You know, this motor does not have that many miles on it. Let's see. It does say 289, so they are 289 cylinder heads. All right, right there it says 289. It does have the push rods are not open holes. They're actually square holes for the guide, so they're guided. So if this was a hypo head where the valve spring, yeah, I don't need this. Give me a screwdriver. Yeah, let's set this one. If this was a hypo head, there would be a pocket here where the spring would be sitting down inside a pocket. So these are not hypo heads, they're just regular 289 heads. And we have standard rockers in here, which like I said, here, hold the camera. Let me get one of these roller rockers. If we went with the roller rocker route on this motor, we might not be able to run. Let's see.
You look too fat.
Well, that's the problem when you go with some of this stuff is they sit up so much taller, and then they might not fit under the stock valve covers, because you can see these stock. Let's see how much wider this is. It's really not much wider, but it might not fit underneath there. All right, let's go for this valve cover. Same thing. Look how clean it is. There's no oil buildup or nothing. No oil buildup in here. No oil buildup down where the returns. That's the oil return right there. And there should be an oil return here. And usually gunk gets right there. There's a little. Is there a little bit of gunk? Little tiny bit of gunk.
Very little.
Very little. Like I said, this motor's pretty fresh. Okay, so now I'm wondering, should we just not take it apart and put it back in the way it is? Because it ran pretty bad, didn't it?
Yeah, it ran pretty bad.
It ran pretty bad. Oh, and also too, while I was looking around, is it on this side or the other side? Oh, this side right here, there is a leaky freeze plug. So the block definitely needs to be refreeze plugged, and it needs that cam plug. Let's go ahead and, well, we're here, we're committed. So let's go ahead and get another, let's get a 1/2 inch, and let's get this intake manifold off. There's our $8 lift plate. Thank you, Carlisle, Pennsylvania. We have such good deals in Carlisle, Pennsylvania for stuff. This thing worked excellent. Seems like maybe some of these bolts weren't that tight.
Well, I know this thing shook and vibrated a whole lot. That probably doesn't help.
Yeah, well, you know, it's like I said, the motor has never really run that good. It always has been really a rough runner. And I don't know if it's just because I never ran it long enough to get all the bad gas out of the gas tank, or, ow, did I just slice my finger? Sure did feel like it. So there is...
That hose looks pretty...
The bypass, this is called the bypass hose. All right, there's the bypass hose. Did you only grab one bag?
Yeah.
Did you only grab one bag? Well, you know we're gonna need more bags, because we're definitely gonna be running this intake manifold. I think it's cool because it's the original 4-barrel manifold, even if I have to run an adapter plate. All right, so here are the bolts for that. We'll just get something for that later. I'm going to try to leave the distributor in for now, because I don't know how far I'm going to tear this thing down. You know, if the bearings look good, we'll roll with the bearings.
What about you can't?
Go ahead, lift up on it. No, it's glued on. It's got glue on it, so we're going to have to pry up on it. Somebody really got this manifold glued in here good. There we go. Okay, trick of the trade, you get a rubber band, you put a rubber band around your distributor hold downs so they don't keep falling down. Let me get a rubber band. I can't find any rubber bands, but I know what we'll use. We'll use wire tie. You know, I wish we would have taken and did a compression test on the engine before we took it out, but I forgot to. All right, there, that's out of the way. You know, will it come loose? No, probably not. I'll just throw that over there with the other parts. We'll just get this out of here so it's out of my way. You know, we will probably end up pulling the distributor on it. I just don't want to pull it yet. All right. All right. Yeah, look how clean it is. There's a little bit of schmeg underneath the manifold. It's got blue Velcro gaskets on it. Looky there, a little sludgy where some water's gotten in here. You know, once again, it's got the 289 emblem there. They didn't use any end pieces. They just used silicone, which is quite fine. No problem there. Looks like there's some in here. Or that's old coolant. Where?
Right here.
Oh yeah, it still probably has some coolant in there.
Yeah, it smells like old coolant.
Yeah, there is no okay. There is no coolant crossover here. Okay, so it's just the manifold just has it blocked off, unlike the front, where the front has this passage here that where the water flows through. All right, so. Oh, and this car still has, nobody's done, these have push-in studs. These studs for the rocker arms are just pushed into the heads. I usually like to get them machined and have screw-in studs put in them. Okay, this is the part that's gonna suck. All these push rods have got a wear pattern for every lifter and every rocker arm. So we really need to mark all these rocker arms. So if we're gonna use these again, they go right back in the same spot. So that's easily enough done since the motor hasn't been run really. Where is it? So, yeah, they're pretty dry. So I'm just going to mark them. That's one intake. This is one exhaust. This is two intake. And this is two exhaust. Oops, it looks like a one. My God, it looks like a one. Okay, so this is, let me go. This is a three. This is a three. And this is the exhaust. And this is the intake. This is four. This is four. And this is the exhaust. And this is the intake. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, I can read this. This is definitely a 2, 3, 4, 4. Okay. This is just a paint pen. It will dry. So this is a 5. This is a 5, and this is the exhaust. This is the intake. This is a 6. This is a 6, and this is exhaust. And that's intake. This is 7. That is 7. This is exhaust, and that is intake. And then this is 8 exhaust and 8 intake. Okay, so I have them all marked. I guess really the push rods really don't make that much of a difference, but I do have all that written down. Let's see. They're 5/8, right? Yeah, they're 5/8. And then you can see that this nut is different from that nut. And all these rocker arms have a different number on them. Some of them are smooth up here, some of them are not. So let's pop that off. What you want to do, what we did on that 5.3 LS motor, when we took it apart, I was examining the parts. And here's your push rod. These push rods look like brand new. There was wear on here, and you could see it where they were wearing away, but they look actually really good. They're like brand new. I don't think this motor's got a lot of miles on it. Here's another intake. And okay, that's got a little rust on it from it sitting. Some water must have got down in the engine. So I don't think we're going to worry about the too much about the where the rocker arm. I mean, I'm going to worry about where the rocker arms went, but I'm not really going to worry about the push rods. Let's see how easy are these going to come out easy. Oh yeah, look at that. So that just tells you right there that this is the hydraulic lifter. The camshaft runs here and makes this go up and down, which pushes the push rod. Usually these get mushroomed here, so you can't pull them out of the bore. So this motor has been rebuilt and barely, barely any running because the lifters have not worn out. All right, so set everything up here. Gonna look at all the push rods, they look all good. Yeah, they're not showing any signs of wear. So we'll just put the push rods back in any position. I don't think it's gonna matter. All right. Yeah, they all look good. They all look really, really good. So we need to get the cylinder head off here. Let's get this ground wire. Whew. That does not want to come out of there. All right, well, we will have to heat that up to get that out. So these are 19s, 20. That's probably this size. All right, let's see if that's not going to bust it out.
Yeah, like battery charging.
I'd say your battery's probably done, right?
Yeah.
Been on it for like 3 hours. All right, so let's start in the
Yeah, you
center.
gotta start in the center.
Yeah, there's. Oh, and somebody's put some ultra copper on the threads. I thought you were actually supposed to put sealant on the threads. I do believe the smaller bolts go into a water jacket. More ultra copper on the threads. Well, ultra copper there.
I think you're gonna have to change the battery in this camera.
Oh, yep. All right, let me get all the bolts loose. This one feels messed up. All right, I got all the bolts loose. We got to change the battery in the camera, and the camera is getting pretty warm. This has been a half-hour video, so let me change the batteries, let the camera cool down a little bit, and we'll come back with the cylinder head off. All right, we changed the battery. We're back. Never have had I filmed so long for like 28 minutes. This camera got very warm, and the battery actually expanded where it was hard to get out of the camera. Well, anyway, so we got all the head bolts out of this head. There's one thing we did notice, that this valve right here, see how this valve's got a chamfer on it all the way around. It's nice and smooth. It doesn't grab your hand. This valve here looks like it's been beat with a hammer, and it's got an edge here. So that valve might need to be replaced. Once again, we're in here. It's got nice orange valve guide seals in here. But, you know, I just don't trust this engine. Here, go ahead and grab the camera for me. Let's get this head popped off. Okay, and I will tell you a mistake that you never do. You never take a hammer and hit the head here to try to get busted free, because you will break this lip off. I know from experience. So we won't talk about that. So let's get in here. Oh, the head's nice and loose already. All right. It has its dowel pins good. All right, let's. All right, will these come out? All right, so see, like this one here, see how black it is? It's all carboned up. I still don't know if it's from, you know, look, this one here looks like it's been burning pretty good. This one here looks like it's been burning good. This one's been burning good. This one's a
little questionable.
A little questionable. And see, the plug is all black. This has got a C60E cylinder head. So that means this is a 66 cylinder head. So it's got a 65 block with 66, and right there it says 289, 66. So this motor, you know, it could have been a motor out of a, do we have a rag to sit down? This could be a rebuilt motor from who knows. So let's come over here, let's take a look at the back, let's look at the pistons. All right, let me get a kneeling pad. Well, like I said, I know this engine's been apart, and you can see right here, it's got a marking right there. Oh my goodness. This thing's been punched 80 over. I don't know if you were supposed to be able to punch these things 80 over.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I
think it was 70 thousandths was the minimum.
No, maximum.
Or maximum, yeah.
Actually, I don't even think it's that. I think 60 thousandths is like, yeah, let me go ahead. Yeah, that definitely says 80 thousandths. Can you see that there?
Yeah, I take his word for it.
Well, it's definitely 80. Let's look at this one here over here. Another 80 thousandths. 80 thousandths. This one's got a lot of stuff in it. 80 thousandths. This motor has been punched 80 thousandths.
This thing should be kind of thin right here.
Well, and okay, when the piston comes up in the bore, see this carbon ridge right here? There's a ridge right there, okay? On that ridge, you can run your finger across it and see how much the block is worn. It's not worn. So this motor has been bored 80 thousandths. We'll have to go on the internet and find out if what they say about that. That's a lot. That is a lot. A lot. So we would not ever be able to bore this vehicle again.
Well, maybe the cylinder head.
Well, we can get the cylinder heads reworked. Probably since it's 80 thousandths, and we'll probably just end up putting a set of rings in this because I don't want to spend the money on another block. So who knows how many times this engine actually has been rebuilt. 80 thousandths over pistons, unbelievable. All right, well, I'm gonna stop it right here for a moment. We're gonna go ahead and get this other cylinder head off, and let's take a peek at that side. All righty, we'll let the camera cool down, and we got all the bolts and all the rockers off this side. All the valves on this side look pretty good. We did a little research on the internet, and of course, everybody's saying that you shouldn't bore these blocks over 30 thousandths unless they're sonic checked. Well, this one's 80, so obviously some rebuilder rebuilt this someplace. Probably one of those mass-produced rebuilders rebuilt it. So let's see, is this head loose?
Like Jasper or something?
Jasper or somebody. All right, so here is the second cylinder head. Let's get this up here. Take a peek. Let's get, we got a little coolant coming out. Okay, so that is what you want to see. You want to see your exhaust valve brown like that and the intake like that. That one looks pretty good. These are all carboned up. So definitely we're going to send the heads out. And you can see right here, oh man, here's another problem I see. Oh, is that too bright for the, no, that's probably perfect. Okay, when they resurface the cylinder head, they actually resurface that and that and that. I don't know if that's bad or good. I don't think this cylinder head here.
I think it is. It's the same.
Is it the same way?
Yeah.
Yep, same way. Yep, they resurfaced it all through there. So what that does is when you cut too much off the heads, then the intake manifolds don't line up right. So you got to be careful with how much you take off. So let's take a peeky at the pistons in this side. Let's see what it says over here.
Is it going to stay up?
Yeah, it should be all right. Once again, we are at 80, 80, 80, and 80. All 80 thousandths overboard. This block has got a bunch of antifreeze in it still too.
I don't like the way this head gasket looks. Why is
It's a Felpro head gasket. When it's supposed to look like that, but when you pull it apart, it just crumbles. So
cool.
That's fine. That's not a problem.
It just looks strange to me.
Yeah. Let's if we turn this motor over to pull the pan off to check the thing. Hold on. All these lifters are going to fall out. And I don't want to get these lifters mixed up because I want these lifters to be in the exact same hole they need to be in. So we're either going to tape them in there or take them all out and number them or something. And then we're going to take our sucker. You can see right in there, the block is still full of antifreeze. So we're going to take our sucker and try to suck that stuff out. But you know something? I think this video has gone far enough.
I think so too.
For today, it's gone well past a half an hour. Most people don't watch videos past half an hour. So here is the Rustang Mustang engine, part 1 of the Rustang Mustang engine. We're bored 80 thousandths over. People say don't bore them past 80. You can't put 8 sleeves in here. You can't do it. You can't do it. The cylinder heads have been milled. Well, there's one valve that looks kind of iffy, but
I can't remember. Wasn't the back 2 cylinders that used to never fire right?
Yeah.
When this thing used to
yeah.
run?
So
yeah, I think it was the back 2 cylinders.
then we got to figure out if we're going to be able to get these 2 bolts out and the 2 bolts out over here that run through the timing cover because they always seize up in here. But this motor's so fresh, I think it's going to come right apart. I think we're going to leave this one here because maybe we'll get a short block. Maybe we'll send the heads out and see if the heads can be rebuilt, and maybe we'll just buy a short block that's already done. 80 thousandths over pistons. All righty, everybody. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. You can always do that in that corner down there. Please give me a thumbs up if you like the Rustang series videos. Please give me a thumbs down if you do not like the Rustang video series. Down in the description, my Printify store, you can get Rustang t-shirts and hoodies. Please leave a comment what you think about this motor having 80 over pistons when you're not supposed to go past like 30 on 289s. We might just get the heads rebuilt, throw them back on here, and let the motor eat for now and see if it blows up. It never did run real well. It never, ever, ever has run well. And I don't know if it's because of the valve train or the block. All right, everybody. Well, thanks a lot for watching again. And we and G Junior will see you on the next one. All right, everybody, here's a little bonus footage on the Mustang Rustang engine. So we're picking up, we're not know what we're gonna do yet because the motor's bored 80 thousandths, not good. Everything says on the internet 30 thousandths really is the maximum. So we started picking up the parts and coming over here to the intake manifold. Now there is no water crossover in the back, so all this silicone back here doesn't matter. But they almost have that one completely clogged up. Same with this one here. That is definitely a restriction of your coolant flow. That one's probably not quite half, but I guarantee you this one is blocked more than half. Don't go overboard on the silicone, people. You only need a very, very light coating. This looks like half a tube. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot for watching the bonus footage. Hey, everybody. We're working on the Rustang's 289 engine. I do believe we are not going to tear the lower end apart because the lower end has been bored 80 thousandths over, as you can see on the piston right here. It says 0.080. So this motor is possibly junk. So anyway, so when we were taking it apart, one thing we noticed is that somebody used like a whole tube of silicone on this front water jacket. So this thing is probably blocked about halfway. And then this side over here is done the same way. It's blocked probably about a quarter of the way. So we were pulling the thermostat housing off and went to clean it up and get ready for paint. When we pull the thermostat housing off, somebody has gutted the thermostat. So there are two possibilities why somebody would gut the thermostat. Number one, there's not enough water flow because they use so much silicone in sealing this intake manifold up, or the overbore of 80 thousandths is too much, and that can cause overheating. So we've never really driven this car on the road. It's always been off the road. It's always started to run. The motor didn't run that good. I think it had a carburetor problem. We're going to send the heads out and have them rebuilt. We just sent the valve covers out to my brother's house. He's going to powder coat them gold. We're going to get a new water pump for this, and we're going to clean this all up and repaint it black. We are not going to take this apart. We need to get freeze plugs for this block. We need to get a cam plug, because a cam plug looks like it is leaking oil. So just a real quick one here. Do not use a whole tube of silicone when you're sealing up intake manifolds. Alrighty, everybody. Thanks a lot for watching. Please subscribe. You can always do that in that corner. Please give me a thumbs up if you like the Rustang series videos.